So first off, Facebook hates the other streaming site. I can't even say the name because if I do, it will it'll kill the reach of this video on Facebook. But you know which one it is. It's the first streaming site. It's the big one. It's where everybody uploads their videos. And I have a channel on there at SchizoDad, the Schizoaffective Dad. I haven't posted in a while. You know, my daughter got a concussion at work in the most Looney Tunes ways possible about 4 weeks ago. And then as soon as she came out of that, she developed pneumonia. Our cleaning business, contrary to popular belief, has not taken off, but we've established 3 or 4 regular cleanings, and we're slowly building and getting more. We've had a couple of one-shots that come through. We had a big deep clean that we got to do, we'll just say yesterday, because in the end it was about 6.5 hours of work, with a very cool tenant and a very helpful landlord. We don't get a whole lot of those when it comes to deep cleanings. We don't ask. We just assume we're going to do it by ourselves. But the long story short, we were hired in to help expedite a move-in cleaning, and that was a very cool experience. It's one I haven't had to do in a long time. What I want to talk to you about today. Oh, and then of course my normal job at the Golden Arches, where I've been off and on for the last 23 years for my adult life, where I do maintenance. Anyways, I want to talk about something that I wish was addressed more often in therapy for excuse me, I've got hiccups because I'm like drinking an energy drink since I don't have any pre-workout and I want to go to the gym. But anyway, it's something that I wish like my therapists and psychiatrists that I've had over the last few years would address more often when they talk about schizoaffective disorder and schizophrenia and executive disorder, as far as it applies to like various forms of depression and other mental illnesses, specifically as a comorbidity, I guess, with it. Man, I want to shower. I want to eat. But I don't want to eat. And I don't want to shower. I still shower. Like, I'm not going to be a stinky bitch. But it's like I know I need to. And I know I need to eat. And I can't. It's not just that it's too much. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a depressive episode. I deal with major depression disorder, so I don't have episodes of mania typically. I can count on one hand in the last 7 years since my diagnosis where I've actually experienced it. But I'm not in a depressive low. I know how my depression works, especially when I'm lucid. I'm not in the middle of a episode of psychosis. But the executive dysfunction, the executive disorder, whatever you want to call it, it's it's just this hard like reconciliation of or trying to reconcile the idea of needing to do something and it just being impossible to do. And it's not something like major. I'll go to work. I jumped on these 2 cleaning jobs over the last 48 hours. On top of that, we worked ourselves. My daughter pulled a 16-hour day the other day to help us put a dent in that, and then I did 2 cleanings yesterday, and I got out late from one, had to be back up at work at 3. I could do that all day. I don't understand. I have no part of this because I like doing it, but I'll do it to a detriment of my health. But man, the idea of going in the kitchen and spending 20 minutes to just make something to eat is overwhelming. And at the same time, I know I need to do it. Here's the other thing that I don't really talk about a whole lot is that on top of that, I am like neck deep in an episode of psychosis, and I'm dealing with a lot of paranoia right now. And this specific presentation of paranoia, typically for me, usually involves people losing their lives if I don't do certain things, not out of compulsion. Last year, at the end of last year, if I didn't seek mental help because I had this paranoia and delusion that if I told anybody I was having like mental health issues, they would pass away. Like if I went up to my wife or my best friends or anybody and I said, hey, I'm having problems with hallucinations and depression and I want to unalive myself, I need help, then if they heard me talk about it, they would pass away. Right now, it's more like I'm afraid that if I eat, like, just eat, that everybody in the house will not be alive anymore. And I know that's not the truth, okay? So that's the other part. Like, I guess it's more delusional than paranoia because they don't always go hand in hand, but like it's very, very hard for me to engage in like basic behavior, and right now it's killing my appetite. I'm sorry, it's killing my ability to eat. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. Like I need to eat and I can't. Like between the executive disorder dysfunction, whatever you want to call it now, whatever the DSM-5 calls it now, where like the idea of eating is just overwhelming with that paranoia and I guess delusion on top of it, the paranoia that if I do make something for myself to eat, that people will lose their lives by the act of me eating, not poison or anything else. I don't typically have the poison thing going on. And it's like it's bad. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm so hungry. I fucked up some zucchini lasagna the other night that I made for a friend and I made for myself. I cut it too thin. I didn't saute the zucchinis. It dehydrated, shrink up into the lasagna and turned it into lasagna soup. So I just went to Walmart and bought some shells that I can boil, throw in there, bake real quick, and kind of put everything back together and reconstitute it a little bit. And like I'm so hungry, I'm shaking, and I don't know if I can do it. Like I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat. I've eaten 3 times in the last 4 days, and I knew I was in a bad place when I thought I was sick yesterday, getting the flu, and then when I ate a couple of candy bars that Leilani bought me, I had my energy back. And I went ahead and scheduled a psychiatric appointment at the center I go to for 8:30 Monday morning, but because I missed some appointments this summer over a couple of things, part of it was billing and the sliding scale and some other stuff. It was more on that end than anything else. I had to speak to the director in order for me to get treatment again, and I don't know how that's going to go. I tried consuming THC. I do that a few times a week, usually before bed. I know my sativa indicas and terpenes associated with them, so they don't mess with my mental health. It's all physical for the most part. Usually that gets my appetite back, and I couldn't do it. That's bad. That's real bad for me because I'm a lightweight despite my consumption. I don't know what to do. So I wish, like when I go and I read up on this stuff, it's like actually pretty common, like for people with schizoaffective disorder and schizophrenia in particular, to start losing weight because they can't eat. They don't eat consistently. They don't get into that routine. And they can't maintain it. And I guess that's what I'm dealing with now. But man, I am so hungry. And the thought of eating like like it's overwhelming, and I don't want anybody to die. I can't make it make sense for you. I don't like talking about psychosis and hallucinations too much. I did that earlier in my channel, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll hopefully be back to posting a little bit more regularly on my channel, on my tube, and we'll see what happens. I'll probably check in after my appointment Monday. That's at 8:30. It's about an hour process. When it's that early, it's pretty quick. And then I have a walkthrough at 1 o'clock for a local business to see if they want to pick us up for weekly or bi-weekly or monthly cleanings. I'm not sure yet. Hopefully that goes well, because that is something we definitely need. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got all this food and I want to eat and I can't. I am really, really hungry, and it's too much. I'll check in a few days. I love you guys. Later.